Hey, thank you for watching the N95 respirator training video. My name is Daniel Holcomb. I work for IEA, but I'm also a consultant with Metropolitan State University for health and safety. So OSHA had an emergency temporary standard for COVID-19 against healthcare workers. This did expire earlier this year, January 19. However, OSHA will still cite companies for not following proper procedures on how to protect their workers, healthcare workers, with PPE and other protocols. So that's what we're still doing here today. Health partners or whatever clinic you're going to is going to be requiring N95s. So we have to act as if that's a respirator, and then if it is a respirator, then we have to provide a medical evaluation, fit test, and training in order to satisfy OSHA's standard. So today in this PowerPoint, we'll be going over the OSHA Respiratory Protection Program, different types of respirators, and why an N95 is different than a dust mask or a half mask respirator, proper use and limitations while you're wearing it, care, and how to do a seal check, the medical evaluation, which all of you have been sent by now, fit testing, which will start next week and the following week, and then also how to properly store your N95 to prolong its use. So OSHA requires that all employers have a written respiratory protection program if they have employees that are wearing respirators in the workplace. And this written program also requires that employers identify hazards in the workplace, and then they properly selecting the respirator for what the hazard is. Also proper use, maintenance, and storage, providing medical evaluation. Some companies do that online medical evaluation that all of you did. Some have a person come on site and do medical care directly. Then also how they're going to be enforcing the use and providing the annual training that's required by OSHA. So the respirator that we'll be discussing most today is the N95. N95s filter out 95% of particles that are greater than 0.3 microns. N95s have been approved by NIOSH, the National Institute of Occupational Safety and Health. They have various standards that they have to have all these masks go through in order to clear them with their N95 symbol. And NIOSH approved. So it's important that we are utilizing N95s, NIOSH approved respirators. The KN95s are not the same. They do not go through the same testing and all that. So same thing with the cloth face covering, surgical dust masks. Those don't have the seals that the N95s get to prevent anything from getting around the edges of the respirator. And then I know my video is cutting off that half mask, but that's also overly protective for what we're being exposed to, but that is another option. That's mainly for industrial environments or other industries. So N95s have been issued to protect against the virus, specifically COVID-19, and at least 95% of 0.3 or larger micron particles in the air. You'll commonly see these if people are doing sort of woodwork. They'll use that as a dust mask to help filter out anything before it gets into their lungs, or other different industries as well. But the issue is with N95s is that you need to have a clean face, no stubble. That will all interfere with the seal. You need to have that perfect seal, that suction, in order to have it properly fit and work properly. Glasses can also interfere, but you can usually move those around to have it not interfere. And it's important that we are inspecting these daily and then disposing if they are soiled or damaged. So make sure that you're working with the clinic to understand what their protocols are for continuing the use. We'll talk more about that later on what the manufacturer states for use, but make sure to communicate that with the team. So this is a list from Health Partners that they provide us on which N95s to fit the students. So we ordered a lot of the 3M Auras 1870 Plus. And this respirator has been shown to be tested very well. It fits most employees, and it has probably the best seal. So hopefully everyone can fit test with this one. But if not, we do have different options as well. And everyone's face is different, so one N95 is not going to fit everyone the same. So we do have different options, but so we'll start fit testing everyone on that 3M 8070 plus Aura, and then go from there if it fails. So the N95 and what other PPE that the health clinic requires should be donned before entering the patient area, and then remain in place for the duration that you're in that work area as well. Avoid touching it, adjusting it as much as possible, because then you're getting whatever's in your hands on your mask. If you were to touch your mask, always make sure to wash your hands before and then also after as well. Avoid having the mask sit on your chin as well. If you leave the area, don't do that. But PPE must be removed slowly and deliberately in a sequence that prevents self-contamination. I'm sure all of you have gone through PPE donning and doffing, but this is just required to be provided in the PowerPoint for the training. So for donning a N95 respirator, make sure to identify what N95 is allowed, what you're required to be wearing. Do proper hand hygiene before opening it up and putting it on your face. So make sure that you do cup the N95 in your clean hand. Put it to your face. Then you're gonna have two straps. Make sure to put both straps behind your back, one above your ear, one below your ear, and then lastly, make sure to fit that nose clip to your face. And then once that's done, always do a seal check before leaving to make sure that it does fit your face properly. And how to do a seal check with N95s is that you just cup your hands in front of your face with the mask, and then blow out. And you should feel a breeze on the palm of your hand. If you feel like it's escaping around the seal, then that means you have to readjust it and then retry that seal check to make sure that it is sealed properly. So for doffing the N95 respirator, make sure to remove your gloves if you are using gloves. Perform proper hand hygiene. Remove the face shield and goggles if you are wearing that. Then lastly, remove and store the respirator. Avoid touching the front of the respirator. And then place it in a breathable bag, because the respirator will have some sort of condensation from breathing. So you don't want to seal that up in like a Ziploc. You want to make sure that moisture can get out. So like a brown paper bag with your name on it's really good. Then lastly, perform hand hygiene after touching the respirator and putting it away. So part of that fit testing process and part of the program is the medical evaluation. So this medical evaluation needs to be done and approved before you do the fit test. It just states that the employee is healthy enough to be wearing that N95 respirator for the duration of the time that was specified in the profile. So this would be at least 4 hours of wear. And N95s are hard to breathe through, so not everyone is allowed. Some people need to be taking breaks and other things like that. So that medical evaluation email that was sent out to all the students, do not share the login ID, since everyone's login ID is specific to them, and you don't want to have anyone else using that login ID that was specific to yours. And then all answers are confidential and are viewed only by the evaluating physician. I know I've had some people that were questioning, because 3M RespXM is the email, but DeMarco Solutions is the medical company that is doing all the evaluation. So 3M doesn't see any of the answers. All the information is housed with DeMarco Solutions. And that information doesn't go anywhere from them. So, and there is not a specific annual requirement for medical evaluations, but however, the evaluating physician could prescribe annual tests or even more frequently in order to ensure that employees can wear the respirator as stated in the use. So the fit testing process is kind of shown in that diagram or the picture on the top right. It's to ensure that the N95 respirator that you are wearing fits properly to your face. It's an annual requirement, so every year in the clinic you'll be getting a fit test because everyone's face does fit differently. It changes over time, so a fit test is required. It's completed after the medical evaluation, after you've been approved by the physician, but also, like I said, can occur more frequently if you have rapid weight loss or weight gain, or any sort of facial accidents or injuries, or if the user just feels like it's not fitting as well as it used to. We could always fit test more frequently as well. And you need to be fit tested for the exact make and model of N95 respirator. It's very important to understand this. So if you are wearing a certain respirator, 3M respirator, that's a small, but you're given a medium, you're not fit to that medium. You're fit to that small. So it's important to have a fit test for each model that you are getting and size. So I know the ones that were kind of selected for us in the Health Partners process, they specify the size. So, and that Aura 8070 Plus is a good size, and it does fit most people. So hopefully we don't have that much of a problem with that. So the fit testing process that we'll be doing is the qualitative fit testing, and this is using aerosol spray to smell or taste the aerosol. If you do that, then that means that there's a leak. The seal has not properly been secured. We'll be using Bitrex, which is a bitter tasting aerosol. But some people have a hard time tasting Bitrex or saccharin. Some, if it's a heavy smoker or if they recently had COVID and lost sense of taste, this can be an issue. So I will make sure to bring irritant smoke as well. Irritant smoke will be more of a smell hazard, and you'll be able to smell that. But the process is there's 7 exercises that we'll be doing for 60 seconds each. Each fit test will approximately take around 15 minutes. So I'll make sure to be doing probably four at a time to make sure it goes quickly. So you pass the test if you do not sense any taste or smell of the aerosol spray while you're wearing this hood with the N95 inside. But make sure not to eat, smoke, drink, or chew gum before 15 minutes prior to the fit test. That stuff can all kind of hinder someone's ability to sense the smell or taste. So if you're going to be wearing the N95 respirator for more than one shift, you should write a first and last name on a paper bag. Make sure that bag is breathable so you can absorb the moisture from the mask. Add the date that you first wore the mask, and then I would just put X's on the bag for every work shift or 8 hours. So my company, IEA, recommends using a maximum of 40 hours or 5 work shifts. But really, the manufacturer is going to specify, the length and duration that this can be worn. But it all depends on if it's shoulder damage as well. If it's shoulder damage, you don't want to be wearing that for extended shifts. And also make sure to be following the PPE protocol at the clinic that you're working at. They may require wearing a face shield, and maybe that face shield can help prolong the N95 use because it's not getting that direct contact with people. But make sure to be following the clinic's PPE protocol on how long you should be wearing the N95 respirator. Thank you for attending this training. If you have any additional questions, please feel free to reach out to me at that email or by phone. There is a required quiz to document training attendance, so please fill that out with the hyperlink above. I will see you next week or the following week for fit testing. Have a great day. Thank you.